This is the story of BeeBop. This is his book, BeeBop's New World. And here's a little background on the character. In the beginning, I worked for a greeting card company as I was leaving college in 1982. And I did teddy bears, kittens, chocolate, hearts, that sort of thing. Very simple illustrations for simple greeting cards. Did 153 of those and pretty much maxed out what I wanted to do in that cutesy world and decided I needed a more intense illustration venue. And so I ended up working for NBC and doing a lot of illustrations like this on a variety of subjects that they can use on their news programs, 1,200 paintings in all. And after 3 years, I had kind of missed working with children and the idea of fantasy, kind of simple, happy images. So there was a headhunter from Rainbow Bright at that time, from DIC Animation, and they needed somebody like me with painting background. And so I created characters, props, and backgrounds to create a style for Rainbow Bright. I found these original paintings just a couple of weeks ago when I was going through archives, and I didn't know I had any of the originals left. So this is kind of a happy find that I had found some of these original Rainbow Bright illustrations. I left there after a few years and went on to commercial illustration and commercial sculpture. One of the clients was a gummy bear manufacturer, and they asked if I could come up with something fun for kids that's not a gummy bear but a different product. And I said, well, how about gummy alien heads? And so here's the very first alien head that I had carved for them. We called it Alpha. And so Alpha, I had made a prototype mold. I won't get into how gummy bears are made, but this is a prototype mold to make the gummy alien heads and flying saucers. And we created prototypes, and they were fun. It was a fun concept. So this is the original UFO and aliens wrapper for the gummy bears. And it put me on a alien bent. So I started creating other aliens for friends, and ones with colorful eyes, ones that weren't so menacing. And it begged the concept of, what would aliens think if they came and saw this beautiful planet of ours? Or take it one step further, what if it was a baby alien? And so this is the original baby alien. And people said, well, what's this baby alien's name? And I figured, well, since that first one was called Alpha, I guess B comes next, so this is BeeBop. And so BeeBop was born. And so I cast these as magnets for friends. I wasn't sure which color eye to use, blue or red. And so I opted for the one in between, which would be purple. And so I gave him purple eyes, and I made the first 3D carving of him in wax and cast these resin surfboard BeeBops for friends. He became a popular item, and so I decided to go into production and carve a smaller one and have it cast in pewter and use Swarovski crystals for eyes. And so this is the original Swarovski crystal and pewter BeeBop. And so these sold quite a bit, and I repeatedly got questions about, where is he from, where is he going, and what's his name, what's he all about, that sort of thing. And so I ended up flushing out the character and designing a children's book. This is the original BeeBop's New World children's book. I had to bind it with a plastic binder, and I made a large version so that I could read it to kids' classes and kind of get feedback from kids. In a nutshell, it's only a 3.5-minute read, but for these purposes here, I'll just brush through it. That his grandfather would tell him stories about this beautiful place called Earth, and so he would dream about it at night, and when he'd wake up in the morning, he'd ask his parents about it, and they said it doesn't exist. And so he decides that after doing his chores, he's going to search the universe and use his own imagination to find if this place really does exist. And so he ends up, of course, meeting surfers. Where else would you get information on a new planet? And they decide that they're going to make a parade of their most favorite things that make Earth such a great place to live. And so this is the original format for that parade of wonderful things. I had left it blank because this was designed as a craft book. And I didn't want to just illustrate a bunch of random things in here. I wanted the kid to be able to put in their own favorite things, create their own parade of wonderful things. And so it added a challenge to the book because now the only publishers that were interested were ones that would carry craft supplies, and it would be marketed with arts and craft supplies, and it was no longer in the standard children's book market. It was kind of a novelty children's book. I had created a lot of things for the website that were free downloads, paper dolls of him, games, parades of wonderful things that they could color themselves. And this worked out great because classrooms and camps would have kids illustrate or color or write the words or paste pictures of their favorite things. And because the ends were open, they could be tacked end to end all the way around the room, and so there would be this parade of wonderful things that surrounds them in the room. And it was a real positive element for classrooms. This is also a free download. So I got into a lot of free downloads for teachers because teachers suffer from not having enough funds to entertain and educate their students. And so I made positive posters as well. There's a bunch of stuff for free on the website. So like be generous, give until it feels good, be motivated, nothing can take the place of perseverance, be extraordinary, even butterflies don't know how beautiful they are, those kinds of things. And to send additional positive messages with this cute little character. Well, it all went into a box because I marketed it to about 20 different craft publishers and decided that that it's too hard of a road at that time. I just had bills to pay and I needed to get on with my regular work. So it all went into a box until 2014, at which time I pulled it out of the box and had an aha moment about turning the parade of wonderful things into words. And so now they can still use their own imagination of what these things represent. You know, everybody's got their own idea of what each one of these things would actually look like. But it became a vocabulary book for young readers that are in the 2nd to 5th grade level, and added a fun element and made it complete, where it's no longer an incomplete book that needed to be completed. It was able to work right out the gate and be sold as a regular children's book. And so that was the solution for that. It's now in softcover and hardcover. The posters, positive posters, are now available on coffee mugs, and so these things are available. Amazon sells a bobblehead online. This is a limited edition, and that's pretty much it. Except for this last thing here. This is a rubber key ring of BeeBop, and people take selfies with him when they travel or they find a meal that's extraordinary, and they share this. So on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So that's it. I hope this helps, and I look forward to talking to you soon.